Welcome back to Fridays with Flowers, one of those days where I don't edit anything. So whatever weird stuff I say just gets to stay. I decided to start calling you guys wildflowers. I don't know if it'll stick, but I thought it was cute. And since it's like a floral channel, I wanted to give my little YouTube family a name. So wildflowers, this seems appropriate. I don't know, if you guys have other ideas, do you like better? Tell me. Anyway, today I wanted to talk about awkward moments, and this came up because I was talking with my sister. We both agreed that for most of our lives we've taken ourselves too seriously, and I'm starting to learn not to take myself too seriously, and I feel like it makes me a lot happier. So I figured I would kind of share my awkward moments, mostly for your entertainment, but partially to make you feel better about your own awkward moments and be able to laugh at yourself. So the first one, in true honor and true awkwardness, is the first awkward thing that I consistently do when I wear bright lipstick is when I think I rub my lips together, and for the sake of this movie I'm going to do this, and I don't really want to do it on camera, but here I go. When I get nervous, I do this. Don't do this in a board meeting when you wear red lipstick. Don't do this before school. Always look in the mirror before ever facing anyone every few minutes when you're wearing bright lipstick. Okay, number two. I labeled these wrong. I have a little thing. It's my medical bill, and I wrote a list and taped it to my light. The next one is, when I was a kid, I had tunnel vision. So when I would see something, I would just go straight to it and I wouldn't pay attention to anybody else. And so one day I was at, like, I don't know, Disneyland or in line for something really exciting, and I ran all the way to the front and I said, "Hi, can you please let me in?" or something like that. And then the guy just glared at me and didn't say anything. I was like, "Oh, what's wrong with this kid?" And I turn around and there are hundreds of people irritated at me in line, thinking I am cutting them, but I didn't know they were there. And I know, like, looking back, it kind of seems silly, but at the time I was so horrified with myself, especially considering I was taught, like, you should be really respectful and polite and, like, always wait your turn and all that stuff. I was mortified. I mean, I remember this for years afterwards. I still think of it. It still hurts my soul a little bit. Okay, the next one is gum. So I used to watch someone who cared for me when I was young spit her gum out on the street, and I saw her do it one day, and so I did it too. And I was probably 5 years old, and this lady comes up to me and she starts screaming at me to, like, pick it up, and it was stuck to the ground, and I was so scared. I was petrified of being yelled at. I didn't know who this crazy lady was, and she wasn't like, "You should pick that up." She was screaming at me. And so at the crosswalk, like where I had spit it out in the street, I got down on my knees and was like trying to pull the gum off the ground, and it was all over my hands. It was like attached to the ground still and in my hand. I never spat gum out again, and she was right. That kills birds. It makes their beaks stick shut, and then they die of starvation or dehydration. It's really sad. Don't spit your gum out. Okay, the next one is the French kiss. When I was younger, I saw people French kissing in Central Park, and I think someone said something like, "Oh, they love each other," or something along those lines. And so I thought, if you love someone, you're supposed to do that. But I never see my parents do it to each other or to me or my sister, so I thought, well, luckily, right? But I thought, okay, well, I'm supposed to do that to other people that I love. Like, not my parents, but other people that I love. So one day, my uncle picked me up, and he was saying goodbye to me. So I had seen these two people making out, like full French kissing, like tongues all over the place and everything. So I tried to do that on him and stuck my tongue like in his mouth, down his throat. And I was so horrified. Not because anyone said anything mean to me, but because of the look on his face. I will remember the look on his face forever. Apparently you're not supposed to do that. The next one was me embarrassing myself intentionally. When I was at a school called Brearley in New York City, it was really, really hard. I was there from K through 7 and I did not want to go back. So when my parents told me I had to go back for a readmission interview or something like that, I went in there and acted like a crazy person, and I was swearing and I was telling them like just crazy lies and just stuff that was clearly not true, and talking about boys or like whatever I thought was super inappropriate at the end of 7th grade or 8th grade, at the end of 8th grade. I was like 13 or something like that. I was saying, because I did not want them to let me back into the school. I didn't want to go. I full-blown humiliated myself, and afterwards they called my parents, and my parents were like, what did you say? They said you're never allowed back. It was really embarrassing to do, but I did not. When you're that persistent and that convinced you don't want to do something, you can embarrass yourself. You should embarrass yourself. You should never have to go to a school you hate that much. All right, the next one. Oh, story about a girl. I like to break the ice by starting talking to people, just telling a story, saying something funny. And I'm really bad with faces and names. I would never share like an embarrassing story or something really stupid that somebody did to somebody else unless they said it was okay. But I might say it if I think that the person will never meet that person, and I wouldn't mention their name or like give away a place to give it away who it was. So I was trying to break the ice, and stupidly I'm telling this story and I'm cracking myself up as I do. I think I'm hilarious. Not because I'm like self-centered, but because I have a really stupid sense of humor and only I get it, and I think it's funny that other people think it's stupid, so then it makes me laugh. Anyway, so I'm telling this story, trying to like break the ice with this girl who apparently I had met before, and I'm telling her the story and I'm laughing and I'm thinking, why is she glaring at me like this girl is not nice? Yeah, it was her that told me that story. So the stupid girl that I was feeling really bad for, I didn't call her stupid. I just said like, you know, I was making her sound stupid just to be funny, not in a mean way, but like, oh, we all make those mistakes, you don't want to be that person. Yeah, it was her. I was talking about her. She was not impressed. Anyway, I did not say her name. The next one was, I was at an airport in Malaysia and they couldn't find my flights. And I was really upset about this. And I was calling my dad's office to try and see if they had more information, or if they had proof that this airline had like messed up. And I was upset, and I was not as nice as I should have been. I was not nice. I wasn't like swearing at her or anything, but I was upset, like, why can't, you know, this airline find my flights? I was there on the wrong day. I was there a day early. That was really embarrassing. That was like mortifying, because there's this long line of people watching me do this, and then on speakerphone, someone from my dad's office goes, "We looked up your flights, Liz, they're tomorrow." And everyone was just like, wow, this girl is really dumb. Okay, the next one, oh, the Diego poo. I was in an Uber, this was last week. I was in an Uber, and I don't know why I'm like praying. Please let me forget this ridiculous memory. My camera ran out of space. Whoops, anyway, sorry, little awkward cut there. So this guy is talking about his day job, and he works at Home Depot, and he's talking about this one really funny experience he had where he just felt so bad for this girl who had her dog, and the dog came in and had really severe diarrhea, but because the dog felt bad and wanted to get to the door, wanted to get outside, he kept walking while he had diarrhea, and he's just describing this horrible, like graphic, just horrible, like poop everywhere. And this dog is like walking down the lumber aisle with like a zigzag of diarrhea. He was talking about me. My dog gets really severe diarrhea when he gets nervous, and the Home Depot was totally unfamiliar to him. So he had really severe diarrhea, and he tried to get to the door, and he was walking down the aisle, and I told him that it was me. I said, "I think you're talking about me." And he's like, started laughing. And then I told him there was a little white dog there too, wasn't there? And he goes, "Yeah, how'd you know?" It was me. I showed him pictures. I was like, "It's me. That was my dog." Anyway, there's no paper towels. They had like totally run out of paper towels. And so they had to like mop it. And I was trying to make them let me clean it up, but they wouldn't let me clean it up. So like this, one of these guys, it wasn't him, it was somebody else, was cleaning it up. And I was like, let me clean it up because it's totally my fault. Like, I don't want to make somebody do that. That's not appropriate. Anyway, they're really nice about it, but it was really funny. He was talking about me. What are the odds? Okay, the next one. I don't know the answer. So when I am in class, I want to interact with the teacher. I'm like an interactive learner, so I'm always interacting. But half of the time that they ask a question, I don't know the answer, but I try to answer anyway. And some of them are really obvious and I should know them, but I try and answer anyway. And I embarrass myself because I should know the answer, and it's so embarrassing, and I still do it. And then I'm like, oh, why did I say that? Oh, I can't touch my mouth because I'm gonna have ink everywhere. The next one is the lid on the coffee problem. I lose the lid on my coffee on a regular basis. I use one of those like reusable screw top ones, and I got one from Starbucks last year, and it like the lid was a different material than the bottom. So when they heat up, one of them would move and the other one would not expand as much. So the lid would come off. So there were multiple times during the semester where I didn't screw the lid on tight enough so it would pop off, so I'd be drinking my coffee and dump it on myself in the morning in my car. But I live an hour from school, so I would go through my day like that multiple times in one semester. People must think I'm nuts. It's embarrassing. But when it's like 100 degrees, you can either put on a sweatshirt or you could just deal with it, and dealing with it is better. The last one is a board meeting. And this one wasn't that bad, but I know it was bad, so I feel really bad about it. I just said bad like 5 times. I was at a board meeting and I was there with one of the interns, and we were presenting some stuff that we'd been working on. I'd sort of been like helping him, but he was doing the work. And I sort of default to certain things that I've said over and over again. So instead of introducing myself like a normal person, I introduced myself with my YouTube opening. I called a bunch of 50 to 65 really intelligent, relatively rich people. Hey guys, what? Oh, I said hey. Oh, so bad. I was in business formal too. It was so bad. Anyway, those are my 10 awkward things, assuming I could count. I hope that this makes people feel better. I feel like it won't. I feel like it'd just be embarrassed for me. I get so embarrassed for other people, but I do actually like hearing other people's embarrassing stories, so please share them. Maybe I'll make like an update video and include some of the new ones I have nightmares about tonight, and then include some of yours. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. This is a really awkward channel. Just in general, I'm really awkward. We should all be awkward. Anyway, love you guys. Bye, my little wildflowers. That's so cheesy. It's also too long.